All right.
Live. Did we both work great today?
We did. I know. I don't know where my Halloween stuff is, so I couldn't dig out. I thought about wearing a Halloween shirt, but I don't know where it is. So.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's Cindy
And Christine
with Candles and Supplies. I see some Instagram waves. If you guys are out there, let us know you're out there and you can hear us, and our technology and wireless and all that stuff is working. That way we know you're out there and can hear us before everybody starts, giving us complaints and calling in for stuff. So anyway, today's very exciting.
Yes.
What are we doing today, Christine?
We are making Spooktacular candles.
That's right.
So we were thinking we want to do something Halloween themed. And we're well, what kind of Spooktacular theme could we make that we haven't done before? So we came up with a graveyard candle and an eyeball stew candle.
Right. Show them.
Yes, let's do the examples. So here's our graveyard candle. So that is in our 17-ounce tumbler. So you have enough room for two.
What's buried in there underneath your tombstones?
No, I guess it would all melt together. I was like, what if you did a layer of something else in there?
Yeah.
But, all right, and here's our eyeball stew candle. So.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I like the black containers you picked too, because it's kind of like a witch's cauldron. Yeah.
I was gonna make label and then I ran out of time. So.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. So.
Yeah, so a little bit different than the normal Halloween thing. So
this time of year, the Halloween season and the fall season is actually the bigger selling season, because you get, literally from mid-August all the way up until Thanksgiving for fall sales. But Halloween is a bit shorter of a window. But people buy Halloween stuff. They're very into it. It's a very fun holiday to kind of have and stuff like that. So rather than, go all out and buy this or that, I need this, that, whatever, go all out for a very short selling season. We wanted you guys to, kind of rethink what you have and how you're going to use it and stuff like that. So we're providing some inspiration today on just rethinking what you may have, how to reuse it in something different to repurpose it. So what'd you use for these, Christine? That's amazing.
So first, for our graveyard candle, we just used our guest rectangular mold you have. So if you make soap, you might have one of these. They're just little rectangles at home. So you don't want to pour soap in this, but they're the perfect size for little tombstones.
Exactly. So think about what you may have that you could pour into a tombstone. Tombstones are all different shapes. It doesn't have to be rectangle. Maybe you have an oval that you could use and kind of round out the top to look like a tombstone, but kind of rethink what you already have and see if you can repurpose any of that. So
yeah.
And
then another one is our blueberry/cranberry mold we use for the embeds. So that's another one. So we're how are we going to make eyeballs? And then we're well, you can get the eyeballs in the store, but plastic, that would be good in candles. So we made our own.
Can't use plastic eyeballs. Glass eyeballs are probably super expensive and hard to find. Yeah. Like I said, you don't want to go out and spend $1 million on something that may be a short selling. You want something fun to offer to the Halloween enthusiasts and stuff like that. So yeah, and it turns out that our blueberry cranberry mold makes great little eyeballs. So now who would have ever thought, except Christine. So yeah.
All right.
Where do we start? So this is all her creation. Had nothing to do with this other than showing up right now, but she's going to make me do all the candles.
You did come up with the idea for the graveyard candle.
Yeah.
But let's see it. So I'm sure. Yeah. I'm going to stir that real quick.
Okay.
So we did a whipped wax for the graveyard candle, so we're just going to stir that a little bit. So probably that will last just so it cools enough.
Right. So we have green wax in here. How'd you get this beautiful bright green? How did that even happen? Because this is not one of our normal stock colors.
It is not. So I wanted to do our neon green is very, very neon, and that you could do that with the eyeballs, and I think it would be fine. But it wouldn't be. It was a little too intense for what I wanted. So I just added a drop of the Kelly Green liquid dye into it.
And the neon green makes this perfect, beautiful green candle. That's a little dark. That's still cooling, but this is what it looks like when it cools. So yeah, very cool, very cool. Neon. So you mix the two just to darken it up.
Yep, exactly. Just a little darkness. Good. So it's not too bright.
Mm-hmm. That's important.
Yeah.
I'm still
stirring. Okay, that's fine. That'll take a little bit. So let's do our eyeballs because that's almost ready.
Yay!
So eyeballs. For the eyeball candle, we need to do the embed first for the little eyeball. There. So we just poured soy PB into the mold here.
Right. So the soy pillar blend.
Right. Soy pillar blend. So that way it comes out of the mold and doesn't stick in there like
Yeah, you
container
wanna-
wax.
You're right. You want to use something that's not real soft and sticky for the eyeballs. That way it pops out of the mold very easily.
Yeah, so yeah, they came right out, and I'll show you guys. So since they are cranberries / blueberries, they actually have a little like indent in them. So on the top, where like the top of a blueberry would be,
Right.
essentially. But that is a perfect little area to pour your black wax for an eyeball. So it works out great.
So this is what the finished eyeball looks like. This up. So finished eyeballs. Yeah, like that. Like that. So we're gonna attempt to create.
Yeah, do you say you want to pour one?
I sure do. I didn't make any eyeballs yet.
Yes. Oh, it's black wax over there.
All right.
I just did a very, very tiny amount of black wax. Obviously, you don't need very much, and just 1 drop of the black liquid dye.
Did you use the soy pillar blend for this too? Yeah.
I actually use container wax for that.
Okay.
So you could use the soy pillar blend
Right.
for that, but I was thinking the container wax might be a little stickier, so it might stick in there a little bit better.
Okay. Fair enough. That way it doesn't fall.
Yeah, you could do
Fall
either
apart.
or.
Okay. So I'm just gonna hold this up.
Here, hold it. I poured it on the table.
Okay.
I don't know whatever's
I don't know
easier
that-
for you.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna hold this up. This was a very large one, and I'm just gonna pour a little bit of this black wax on there.
Very little bit. Just a little drop.
Try not to burn myself.
Oh, look at that!
gosh,
You
I
did
did
it so
perfect.
well.
The pressure is
Yeah.
so intense.
Yeah, some of the nice thing about the soy pillar blend too is since it is a soy, it's not like super hard. So like, and the container wax being soft, if you pour over a little bit, I just wiped it off. Like you just wipe the container wax right off, so you can clean it up a little bit if you happen to over pour, which is fine.
These
So,
are fun.
even though you're doing a perfect job right now,
These
so
are fun. This is super fun.
right?
Could you use red and make red eyeballs? I mean,
You
that
know,
would be, like,
Sharon said that, and she's
zest,
like, "What if you did like you could do some blue eyeballs? You could do like browns. You could do
No.
different colors too."
Blue eyes are nice, but red eyeballs are
Might
kind
need
of.
to keep going a little.
Yeah.
There's a very little bit amount of wax in there, just so it's easier to pour. A lot of wax would be harder to pour, but also makes it cool a lot faster when it's not very much in there. So
Yeah, for pouring like, let me turn this off. For pouring like super fine details like this, it's best to let your wax cool off and get a little bit thicker. Makes it easier. I'm not really this talented. It just is like very thick wax.
yeah, because you have 2 liquids, it's gonna go everywhere very quickly. So
I'm like an eyeball expert.
yeah, I know.
here.
I'm very
Look at
impressed
me.
with your pouring
Yeah.
skills. They're way better than mine.
Yeah. I poured a few candles in my lifetime.
They're so cute.
They are.
Yeah.
The little ones are gonna up my game here because the big
Yeah.
ones were easier. The little ones.
That's true. Is your wax gonna make it there?
Oh,
so
come on,
slow.
wax! You can do it. You can do it. Oh no,
You can't do it.
We
You can't
stalled.
do it. Let me stir your whip wax here a little bit. So the whip wax that we did for the graveyard candles, I pulled that off probably 20-ish minutes before we went live, so we had time to cool.
Yeah.
It takes a little while to cool down. I was waiting for a while yesterday when I was making it.
That's fast. Oh my gosh! Now there's.
Oh.
One more to go.
Those divots really make it easy, so it's kind of nice.
They sure do. I know.
I didn't even think about that when I decided to use the mold, but it worked out perfectly. So we had thought about trying my original thought was trying to do like a Sharpie or colored in or something, and that did not work well at all. So wax is it.
Did you send these with eyeball scent?
I did not. I don't have eyeball scent. you could definitely send your embeds. I didn't send them at all.
Yeah.
And then too, if you want to do like different fragrances and different ones or repurpose them, like what if you want a graveyard? I want to throw some eyeballs in there. You could totally do that. So.
Oh my God! The eyeballs could be coming up out of the grave. Let's do it.
So that's why I was like, oh, we'll leave it open ended. So I
And
didn't
it goes
set
from a
any
graveyard
embeds.
candle to a zombie candle.
The zombie. There we go.
Yeah.
Do the zombie
Oh, there's so
candle.
many fun things to
You
do.
could do a lot of fun things.
Okay.
All right, so we poured the candle for the eyeballs earlier too and let it cool, so that way the eyeballs don't just sink down when you put them on top. So that
Yeah.
would be good.
It's still molten on the inside,
Yes.
but cool on the top.
You want to place your
Can I put my eyeballs?
Yeah,
in?
you want to show them the candle first? Or,
Okay. Yeah, so you can see how it's cooled here. So like in the middle, it's still very dark. That means that it's still molten on the inside. In the middle, it's very dark. So it's good enough though. Like you can see it has a nice skin on the top. It's good enough to put the eyeballs on without them breaking through. These are very tiny. So
Yeah.
about the size of a blueberry.
Right. Weird.
I know, right?
So So when I did this candle, I don't know if you want to do yours differently. When I had this one, I pushed them in there so they got a little bit further in,
Okay.
which kind of caused some things to go
Yeah,
awry a
because
little
like
bit,
when things
but-
are in a stew,
Yeah,
like think
they're like
beef stew with
sinking in
carrots
there. They're
and
not
beef.
just like on the top. They're kind of in there. So you could do it either way, but
All right.
yeah,
they
they go
cook in very easy.
They do. So that's what happened with mine too, which was fine because then I heat gunned it and they kind of all melted a little bit, which is fine.
Yeah. So let me show you what I did here. I poked them in, but we had a little bit of an eruption just because of the candle cooling, and that's fine. Yeah. So in the middle, we'll just when this is totally cool, we'll just hit it with the heat gun.
Yeah, so you heat gun and keep it all there. Push them in a little more, do whatever, play around with it.
I'm saving that
Eyeballs
for
it
my
is.
graveyard.
Okay, we have these too, so if you want to use more.
All right.
we have other
Maybe I'll
ones.
put a couple more eyeballs in. This is a heavy eyeball stew.
Put a little one like sideways too.
Yeah.
Eyeballs looking like which different
yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Nice. Perfect. Good eyeball stew. That was easy.
Yeah, right?
Very easy.
Whip wax is
fork.
getting there. Yeah, fork might be easier.
I personally like to whip wax with a fork.
Definitely getting jelly like that.
That's good.
Okay. There.
And it helps, like when you're waiting for the wax, if you scrape it off the side with the fork, you get the thick stuff off the side. You go into
that
the
starts
thin
cooling.
stuff. Yeah. So we want it to be whipped but still pourable, right? Is that
Yeah,
what
you
we're
can
going
keep
for here?
you can keep going a little bit more. We'll let it wait, and then we can do the little graveyards while you're the
Okay.
little tombstones while we're waiting.
Yeah, this needs
Yeah, I got it pretty thick when I did it yesterday, just so that way. So like this, I mean, you can pour whatever you want. You don't even have to whip it, but I did that just so you got the little bit of the effect of like the grass essentially. So this way, there we go.
So you saw how easy it was to put the eyeballs in and have like a bit of eruption because
Mm-hmm.
it's molten on the inside. If you don't whip the wax, it's going to be harder to stick the
Right,
gravestones
it's really
in
going to
because
come
it's
up like
bigger.
that.
So the bigger
Yeah.
embed you try to put in here, you want the wax to be a bit cooler.
Mhm.
It's easier to cool off when it's whipped.
Yeah, you could also, when you take this, you could also cut it so it is shorter, so you might not have to put as much in there. That is an option as well. So, obviously, this mold gets you rectangles, not tombstone shapes.
Right.
So we had to fix that. Which, granted, you could just use the rectangle and just put it in there, and
Right.
it'd be fine. But I want to get a little more tombstone shaped. So I took a spoon and heated it up with the heat gun, and then kind of cut it and just like rounded it with the spoon.
Cool.
So you try that out. Here's your spoon.
Okay. What about just putting it directly on the griddle and melting it?
You could do that.
Let's try that first. Oh, yeah.
A little easier than my method. It also makes more of a
Spoon.
mess.
Yeah, it's a little messy.
Yes, if you have a heat source that you can get the wax on, that would definitely work. Or you can heat up the spoon.
This is easier though because you have a flat surface. Spoon, there's not a flat surface.
True. Yeah, so yours looks a lot more.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Ta-da! Yeah, so I just heated it up a little bit and it turned from a rectangle into a tombstone. And now I'm going to take a skewer.
Yes, this is another ad.
Yeah, this is another ad because it'll be fun. I'm just going to take a skewer and like carve something in here.
Yeah, so again, with the soy PB, since it is a little bit softer as a pillar wax, you can still kind of like, you can carve into it. Some of the pillar waxes get pretty hard and then you won't necessarily be able to do that. But you can use any type of object that has a pointy edge and just write on them too.
This is a barbecue skewer. Oh yeah. All right. So that's all I could think of is RIP. So I just carved in a little RIP in there just for fun, just a little extra fun.
That is fun. Here, do it on this one too.
Okay. I need something else now. What's a good idea to put on here? Other than RIP?
I feel like that's like the most common one.
It is, yeah.
Maybe just put like a year, like an older year, like 1894 or something. I don't know.
Okay.
So I feel like older tombstones are always a little
Little
creepier. So you put even like these ones I put fairly upright, but sometimes like the older tombstones they like start sinking one way or the other. You could even put it like sinking in sideways or something. I don't know.
That was harder than RIP. There we go, 1894.
I don't know if anything happened that year. It's just random. Oh, there we go. All right, how's your whip wax doing?
My whip
Oh,
wax
it's
is
looking
getting
pretty
there.
good.
Oh yeah, it's looking gooey. It kind of looks like slime.
Yeah, it does kind of look like slime.
Not gonna lie. And that's not bad for Halloween candy.
No.
Getting there. It's getting there.
Yeah, you want it so when you're like playing with it there, it kind of like leaves the imprint and stays. So it kind of melts back down. Then it's going to do that when you put it in the candle. So if you want it to have that whipped effect, you want to make sure it's kind of staying when you're doing that.
You don't want the dead people to pull in your graves, your tombstone.
Right, exactly. It could go right in there. Yeah.
Pretty thick.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Okay. Should I do it?
Do it.
All right. Here's our other.
Yeah, so that's the crescent vessel and
Yeah.
the black frosted to give it a little bit of different edge.
Since the tombstones are a little bigger, we tend to put them in a little wider jar. So that's like our 17-ounce 2-wick jar. And then this is our 12-ounce crescent because, I mean, you could do it in the little ones too. It's all going to melt in, but I think this gives it a little more room in there because I do want to put some eyeballs by it too. Not kidding about that. Pour this in.
It does look like slime when you're pouring it. Got plenty in there.
Did you scent this?
I did. So this is scented witch's brew.
Okay.
So I didn't have any zombie punch because that was gonna be like another one that I thought about doing. Zombie punch would be great for the stew, and
So I'm just gonna like keep playing with this. That way I know how thick it is before I put my tombstone in, and I'll make it grassy because I like the way yours turned out. So that looks good. Make it look like grass.
adds a little fun edge to it.
Yeah. A little dimension.
Yeah, you don't really need the wick pin or the wick bar in this since the
It's
wax
thicker.
is already so
Mhm.
thick. It doesn't fall really or anything. So you kind of just put it where you need it to go. Just kind of
And if any wax, I mean, you can see I have wax on the wick. I got wax on the side. If any of the wax just goes everywhere, just leave it there and peel it off once it's cool.
Yeah, wipe it off.
That's the easiest.
Yeah, we just use the 1275 container wax for this. So it's a good.
Go. Our production single pour.
Yes, production single pour. So it's good. Good wax. It's like a creamier wax, and it's good for like this type of whipping and everything too, and whatnot.
One of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Probably could have waited a little
Yeah, so I
bit
probably
longer.
poured mine a little bit
Yeah.
later than you did.
That's fine. I feel like the more I'm messing with it, the thinner it's getting. So I'm just gonna leave it there for a moment.
There you go. Let it
Leave
chill
there for
out.
Just a moment.
Let's if you guys have any questions, let me go through the questions.
Yeah, put in
real
your
quick.
questions. Give us a shout out if you're there. Christina,
Start
go
on
through them now.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Nothing on there. All right, Connie's on.
Hi, Connie.
Beautiful scents, Tammy.
Tammy's on. Hi, Tammy.
Michelle. Tammy says, loving the eyeballs.
Yes. They are very
Oh,
cool.
that's
I
smart.
love them.
Lori said she would use pipette for the black. That'd be very intelligent.
That's smart.
Yeah. Probably a lot less living on the edge like
I
we
just
do
wanted
here.
to demonstrate my pouring skills instead of, making it simple and using the pipette. But thank you for that suggestion. That's awesome. Yeah.
That's really cool. Looking good so far. All right. There we go.
Let's see how my candle's doing here. Oh, this is.
Oh, yeah,
looking
that's better,
Oh,
yeah.
We're getting a whippy top here. Think it's like thick enough to put the tombstone in. I don't think quite yet.
So either. Yeah, because you're poking it's going a little more down.
Yeah. A couple more. minutes, a couple more minutes. How many diamond dyes did you have to use to get this color and liquid dye?
So if you added, so if I just did the 8 ounce, I only did, I wrote it down.
That was smart.
Yeah. So the bigger candle has 2 ounces of the Kelly green and 1 ounce of the neon, or one of the diamond dyes of the
2
neons.
drops of the Kelly.
2 drops.
Use 2 ounces and 2.
That'd be really crazy.
Yeah.
2 drops Kelly green in here, and
Okay.
then 1 diamond dye, and the smaller ones are 1 drop of the Kelly green. And I actually did do a little bit lighter for this, so I did do 2 of the neons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you can play around with it a little bit. It's like has little pieces in here that's like falling in there.
Hit it with the Eka. Just lightly hit it with the Eka. Makes it look old that way.
But actually looked really good. Oh, look at that. That makes it look really cool.
Oh yeah.
I wish I would show you guys the closer before. So we can do it on the RIP one, the RIP one. There we go. But it makes it look really cool.
Yeah, so the RIP one, you can see it still has little wax fragments
Like,
in
yeah,
there.
little shavings from
So,
Marky
Christine
there.
didn't like it on the 1894, so we just hit it with heat gun to smooth it all out.
I'm gonna heat on this one too.
I feel like it ages it. Now it really looks like it's from 1894.
Right? Exactly. It gives it a little edge.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, that does look
Right?
better. So, nice.
Yeah, it gives a little age to it. It makes it, and it's a little bit clearer then too.
Just aged
so.
100 years in the last minute. No. Okay. Which one should I put in? I think I'll be ready.
I don't know.
R.I.P.
Okay, sounds good.
So I'm just going to poke this in. Hopefully it doesn't
Oh,
sink
yeah.
too far. Oh, yeah. Good.
Beautiful.
And let's see which eyeballs I want.
The whole eyeball options.
I want one big one and one small one. Because, I mean, real zombies, eyeballs. Zombies don't have eyeballs. But
Yeah, it might be hanging out. It may not be there. I don't know.
that's fun. I like that one.
Alright. Yeah, this is adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Adorable as like Halloween candles go.
Too bad we don't have hands or something. If you're really creative, you can wax carve like body
Yeah.
parts and stuff. We are not.
Yeah, I'm not that good.
We can
So.
pour eyeballs in a blueberry mold.
Make things easy.
That was fun.
Right?
That was really cool. So yeah, it's a little spooktacular Halloween inspiration for everybody. Thank you so much for watching
I think
today.
something else. Can
All right,
Facebook.
let's see it.
It looks like
Looks like
something bigger.
Big old thing question here. All right. So what's a good relative pouring temperature for the soy wax? My candles always have a sinkhole in the middle, and I don't know how to combat that. So very cool for soy wax, like 120, 110. Very, very cool. The cooler you pour it, the smoother the top you'll have and stuff. We let this cool off a lot because we just wanted to whip it up and stuff. We wanted to have that textured top to look like grass. So the temperature it is, very cool. Let me see. Question, inquiring minds want to know now. It's 110, so it's cooler at 110, but this is a soy paraffin mix too, so.
Right. So it won't be quite the same
So
as
it's
the
just
soy.
easy.
Yeah, soy's a little bit tricky, so it's something to just stay
Yeah.
with and like where you're pouring and stuff too. That's why I
Typically
like-
lower than 120 though. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that's our spooktacular
That's it.
creations for today. We were trying to find our witches hats, but I don't know. where
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
Anyway.
next time.
they are. Yeah, next week. Thank you all for watching. So have a great rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.